Seoul, we've just watched Christian Otto capture the women's 100-meter freestyle. Costa Rica's Sylvia Pohl finished 5th in that race, and Dara Torres of the United States finished 7th. Now, Torres got her spot in that race as a result of the disqualification of Angel Myers. A month ago, 21-year-old Myers was one of America's greatest medal hopes. At the Olympic trials in Austin, Texas, she won 3 events, setting 2 American records along the way. But on August 28th, Myers was kicked off of the U.S. squad after testing positive for steroids. To this day, Myers denies using any banned substances, and her father, Kurt, has taken out a second mortgage on their house to finance an attempt to prove her innocence.
The avenues of administrative appeal are now finished, and she now accepts for the first time that she will not be representing her country at the 1988 Olympics.
The final decision came following 17 hours of grueling arbitration. The panel confirmed the results of the UCLA lab. Steroids had been found in all 10 of Myers' drug tests, and with that, a fallen angel returned home to Georgia.
I'm really disappointed. I didn't quite expect it to turn out this way, but...
Well, I think, you know, it was rumored all over the deck during the meet that they suspected that she was doing something.
It seemed a little obvious because she had gotten really big in a short period of time.
We all feel bad for her, feel bad for those involved, but, you know, I think we're all happy that our sport is staying clean.
When her test result was first announced following the swimming trials in Austin, Angel argued that chemical structure of her birth control pill orthonovum 135 was similar to the banned steroid nandrolone.
I don't think I was actually made aware that this could make the test turn out positive.
Here are the 2 drugs in question: Dorobalin, an injectable steroid, and norethindrone, a common hormone found in birth control pills. Once in the body, drug experts say the steroid is broken down into nandrolone and appears as such in the urine. The birth control pill appears in the urine as norethindrone, but the IOC says it can break down and appear as nandrolone in very small quantities. In Angel's case, the steroid level was judged extreme.
This is, after my estimation, 100-fold higher than the cutoff level or the detection limit.
According to Dr. Donachie, only huge doses of birth control pills could have produced the number of steroids found in Angel's system.
There's no discussion on the point of correctness of the results which were gained in the UCLA laboratory.
Despite the U.S. Olympic Committee's decision, Angel says she's not been provided with her test results, and her attorneys angrily charge she's been denied due process, including the opinion of an independent expert.
It's like if you go to a hospital or to a doctor and they say that you have a disease and you need an operation. The second opinion isn't you go back to that same doctor 2 days later and say, have you changed your mind?
Determined not to have his daughter's Olympic dreams die, Kurt Myers contacted IOC labs worldwide. The IOC lab in Indiana held out some hope of a retest. Angel immediately flew there and met a Dr. Nordskow, but was never tested. According to testimony in the hearing, a phone call intervened.
He told me that he was afraid that his accreditation would be taken away by the USOC.
USOC officials dispute that contention. They say they had no objections to a retest. Now it seems Angel's case won't be solved in a laboratory, but instead in a court of law. Angel Myers and her father, Kurt, are standing by now in the studios of our NBC Atlanta affiliate, WXIA-TV, and I thank you both for being with us. Angel, are you past the hurt now, or is it still painful to know that the games are underway and you're not here?
I think it's still really painful. You know, of course I'm disappointed, but now I think I'm more angry, you know, simply because of the fact that I haven't done anything wrong. You know, I've never taken anabolic steroids, and, you know, I never will. I've always been against that sort of thing. And I think it's unfair to say that I've just gotten good all of a sudden. I mean, I broke my first American record almost over 3 years ago.
And yet, you heard on the tape, even as you won in Austin, whispers were widespread that you wouldn't be on the team when the tests were taken. Why do even your own peers seem to think there's guilt?
You know, I really think that, you know, possibly if this were a beauty contest, you know, someone might say that I'd had a facelift. It might be, I mean, anybody I think who's going to swim good, you know, whether you do or you don't, I think there are going to be some questions involved.
So you think it's jealousy?
Possibly.
You say that your birth control pills are being misread as steroids, and yet the doctors say the evidence of steroid use is overwhelming. Is it your contention that they're incompetent or lying?
This whole thing gets fishier and fishier by the moment. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that a swimmer at an elite level or any athlete who would use steroids on a regular basis to improve performance would not know when to get off of those in order to avoid levels that were 100 times the detectable level. That's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody in the world is that stupid. There are 3 reasons why it's possible that Angel tested positive. Number 1 is that during the trials at the University of Texas, Angel was intentionally doped by somebody. Number 2, there could have been mistakes made in the laboratory and confusion, maybe the birth control pill, maybe something else, and they're just trying to cover it up. Or number 3, it's quite possible because they messed up with their protocols that there was some tampering in the laboratory itself.
Why do you think Angel was singled out for this kind of tampering or this kind of doping by some outside force, Mr. Myers?
Well, how much do you think an Olympic berth is worth to somebody? I don't know why she would have been singled out for this, but I know with all of the things that have been going on, all of the problems with her being retested, we still do not have a copy of the data that Dr. Donachie went over. Here's been 3 weeks, and they're sending the data all over the world, and yet we don't have a copy of it yet.
And we've asked for that data repeatedly for the past month, ever since we got the...
Let me tell you the reason why the International Olympic Committee wants to have an expert in the lab. The reason is to prevent tampering. And Dr. Catlin from UCLA did 100% of all of Angel's tests. We don't even know that the charts that were sent to Dr. Donachie in Seoul were Angel's charts. We don't have a copy of those.
Let me ask you one final, very brief note. Will you definitely file suit against the USOC and against swimming?
We are trying to get the system changed. The system is messed up. It's flawed. They are scientifically unreliable. The USOC does not follow the laws of the United States, who created them, nor do they follow the laws of the International Olympic Committee. I wish we had time. We have expert testimony and scientific evidence to refute everything. I just kind of wish that your people had seen fit to put those on this evening.
Well, Kurt Myers, Angel Myers, our people have checked with the other authorities. They say at this point the issue is closed. I thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Every day.
A little bit earlier on our program today, you heard swimmer Angel Myers and her father Kurt level some pretty heavy charges against the USOC. Let's go on over to the Olympic indoor swimming pool right now. USOC President Robert Helmick is standing by with our reporter there, Armin Katayan. Armin?
Yes, Brian, I'm here with Mr. Helmick. Mr. Helmick, one of the charges of the Myers has been that they were denied due process, including the right to an independent second opinion. Your reaction to that?
Well, we followed the set procedures, the IOC procedures, the same one. Actually, there were 3 tests taken at the time of the competition. We went beyond what the procedures were and had 2 additional independent samples taken.
Why is it the Myers have yet been unable to receive their tests from the USOC while NBC was able to obtain a copy of them?
We will indeed provide copies of the data, the raw data, in due time. I think it's a matter that we've been testing 700 athletes far behind, and we just need to catch up with our paperwork.
They've also called into question the reliability of USOC labs, including the testing and the possibility of tampering on the part of your labs. Are you happy with the efficiency of these labs?
Yes, these are the same labs that tested for the Los Angeles games, and there's just absolutely no evidence of any tampering. You know, one issue, the real issue here, is that we hate anyone who's ever judged an age group meet. You know, you hate to disqualify someone, but you also you have to protect the rights of the individual disqualified. But then, as importantly, you have to protect the rights of those people who did not take an unfair advantage or who did not jump, and that's what has to be done here. Those two rights have to be tested.
Bryant, do you have a question?
Yeah, Bob Helmick, this is Bryant Gumbel over at our pagoda here at the Olympic Park. By now, I'm sure you've heard about the disqualification of boxer Anthony Hembrick. What are you hearing about who's at fault?
Well, right now, Bryant, as you know, one of the most disheartening things is when an athlete is not able to be at his event. Who's ever at fault? You know, it's a terrible thing. It's a tragic thing to have at the Olympics. As a matter of fact, I'm just on my way over there to see if there is anything that can be done with the protest, and I can assure the public that we're going to look in. We'll find out. We'll report all the facts this afternoon.
Bob, on what are you going to base your appeal?
Bob, on what are you going to base your appeal?
One of the major factors, as you've already reported, is the transportation system. You know, this is the first, as the competitions get started, things are a little rough. And I think that the fact that that they were not able to get on that bus even in an emergency has to be brought forward.
Okay, USOC President Robert Helmick and Armin Katayan, thank you both very much. We're going to be continuing from Seoul in just a little bit. We're also going to be keeping our eye on a clock because, again, at 1 o'clock is when that Helmbrick appeal will be heard. We'll, of course, bring you an update on how it comes out. We'll come back in just a moment after a station break.